Before the age of streaming service, everybody collected DVDs. Pretty much everybody you knew owned DVDs. It was practically a universal experience. Now collecting Blu Rays or DVDs or 4Ks is looked at as a niche hobby. Streaming services have pretty much effectively killed off physical media collecting. For people that don't understand, they kind of look at you as like, why would you want to own these movies? Why would you collect physical media in the age of streaming? As an avid physical media enthusiast and collector, this breaks my heart. I grew up in a world where everyone collected Blu Rays or DVDs, and I never grew out of it. For the past several years, the hobby has gotten harder and more difficult to get into and to maintain. Prices have gone up, stores have stopped carrying physical media, and streaming services have gotten out of control. But I feel like the tide is turning. I think people are waking up and getting back into physical media collecting. Why? Well, I'm Josh from Just MASH. Let's figure it out. Streaming services seemed like the promised land for everybody when they first started, but since they started, pretty much everything that they initially stood for has fallen. Pretty much every streaming service at this point is incredibly expensive and is riddled with ads. The movies and television shows that get produced for those streaming services, generally speaking, are of a lesser quality than what we used to get 10 years ago. The binge model for streaming services has proven to be largely ineffective, as things don't stick around in the cultural consciousness like they used to when we got weekly releases of television episodes, or several-month releases in theaters for that matter with movies. Netflix specifically has leaned towards a quantity over quality method, and they just churn out movies and TV shows every single day, with largely no effort in quality. They've even admitted that their house style is based around phone watching, and I don't mean watching the movie or show on your phone, I mean having it on in the background while you're scrolling on your phone. We live in a dire time for entertainment because of these streaming services. We're missing out on the shared experience because of these streaming services. You would think that with as accessible as streaming services are, it would be more of a universal experience, but it doesn't compare back to the day when things were appointment viewing on television at 9 p.m. every Sunday when pretty much everybody you knew would tune into the same show. It's not the same as a blockbuster being in theaters for 3 months and everybody going to see it throughout the weekends. Not to mention the fact that they've diluted the TV model, where we used to get 24 episode seasons every single year. Now we get maybe 10 episode seasons once every 3 years. Nothing is permanent on digital or streaming services. Things get added and removed constantly. Things are deleted for tax write-offs, and they become completely inaccessible in any legal or ethical way, and there's no way you can find some things anymore. More censorship is being pushed by companies like Paramount, Netflix, and Disney. If things are at odds with what they don't believe in, you a lot of times don't get to see them anymore. And worst of all, most of these streaming services are constantly pushing generative AI down our throats and not giving us a choice but to interact with it. And yes, it is convenient to have just this gigantic library of stuff that you can scroll through on streaming services, but for me, personally, I kind of feel paralyzed by the choice. There's so many options to choose from that half the time I spend an hour trying to pick one and then end up just watching something I've already seen. Of course, there's benefits to streaming services. I'm not going to act like there's not. But to me, the benefits of owning physical media far outweigh anything that streaming can offer. To start with, the value of money spent over time, for me, purchasing physical media is way more beneficial in terms of the dollar spent than paying for streaming services. Especially when you pay for multiple streaming services that add up every month. For the amount that you use them and engage with the things on those services, it's just not worth it as owning something forever. And honestly, it cannot be overstated the importance of actually owning the things that you enjoy as opposed to just renting them temporarily at will of the streaming service. When you own the physical movie in your hands, nobody can delete that from your collection, no one can edit it for censorship, no one can take it away from you, no one can prevent you from sharing it with your friends, no one can prevent you from screenshotting it or talking about it. When you own a film or television show, it's yours. It's even been proven that Apple has taken things out of people's digital media collection even though they've already paid for it. That doesn't happen with physical media. On top of being able to physically say, yes, I own this, you're actually supporting the things that you enjoy. To be able to physically hold something that you love in your hands shows that an underappreciated aspect of collecting is to actually support the things that you love. A click on a streaming service means nothing in the grand scheme of things, but to actually go out to a store and physically purchase a movie for $20 says a lot. On top of that, when you go out and physically purchase a movie or television show, your attachment to it is greater than what it would be if you just watched it on a streaming service. Whether it's a blind purchase of a movie or show you haven't seen, or it's something that you already love, physically having the case in your hand and taking the disc out and putting it in the player creates a greater relationship and memory with something than it does just clicking on it on the streaming service. And I hate to be that guy, but realistically, the way that streaming services present the material, the movies or TV shows, is kind of anti-art. Netflix has been proven to change movie posters based off of the person watching the account, essentially trying to make you think that the vibe of a movie is different from what it actually is just to get you to click on it. The way that you can just auto-skip opening credits in TV shows or auto-skip end credits. The way that movies or TV shows just auto-play 80 seconds after whatever you're watching ends without a choice. None of that is how you should engage with watching things. And one of the most underappreciated things about owning a movie or show on Blu-ray or DVD was the special features. Things like blooper reels, interviews with the cast and the crew, and most importantly for me, the director and actor commentary over the films. All of those things are falling by the wayside with streaming services. You can learn so much about a movie and the making of a movie just by watching the special features on the DVD. I think about all the time that I spent watching my favorite movies with the audio commentary on and learning from the director and actors about the making of the film. Things like that also create a greater relationship and bond and memory with the movies and TV shows that you watch. And you could say, yes, you know, the movies that are on Netflix and Paramount and HBO and all those, they have physical releases, but not the ones produced by those studios. Yeah, some of them still get it, but most notably, Killers of the Flower Moon, an Apple Studios movie, still has not gotten released on physical media. Many major Netflix TV shows and movies will never touch physical media. And because of that, you'll never get the fun behind-the-scenes insights or stories from the films. Another thing that's important about buying and collecting physical media for me is that it is a physical representation of the things that I love. The visual medium is a unique art form because it's not like painting, it's not like books, they're not physical things that you can go out and touch and hold. The only way to experience those is to watch them on a screen. But to be able to actually hold the physical case, especially if it's a really cool collector's edition where there was a lot of thought, love, and effort put into something, that is a way to express the medium that you love while also understanding that it's not the same thing. For me, to have a collection, a shelf full of the movies that I love, is a way for me to express that. And really now more than ever in the collecting space, there's some truly incredible editions being created for the movies, best movies of all time and worst movies of all time. Places like Criterion Collection and Arrow Video really do create some of the best editions we've ever seen. Now, it's more expensive than it's ever been, unfortunately, because the hobby is more niche than it used to be, but they're still worth buying. The actual production of these movies, the box sets that they come in, the case, the cover design, all of that is an art form in itself, and it's just a greater way to appreciate the art form that is movies. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out and start a giant Blu-ray collection, because I know that that's not realistic, and I know that not everybody feels that way about movies, but everybody does have a favorite movie. Everybody does have a comfort TV show. Everybody should have the ability to access those things at any time, whether the Wi-Fi's out or not. But for the people that do like to collect, it's fun and creates a whole new layer of interaction with the things that you enjoy. In the age of Letterboxd, I think people interact with movies differently, especially younger people, and they kind of look at it as collecting movies by going out and seeing the things that they haven't seen and logging them on Letterboxd. Collecting is just going one step further than that. It's like having a physical Letterboxd. I think being in the collecting space also creates a sense of community that you just can't get through anything else. A shared love of things, a shared love of the hunt, going out to different stores, trying to find the things that you enjoy, getting in on pre-orders, missing out on pre-orders, trying to find it in the aftermarket, finally tracking down that valuable movie, that edition that came out 5 years ago that you missed out on and now is worth 10 times what it cost in stores. Everybody goes on and on about Blockbuster and the experience of going and renting movies every Friday, and I agree. Growing up, going to the video store was one of my favorite things to do. And as a kid, going to Walmart and Best Buy and Target and seeing their massive selection of movies was one of my favorite ways to discover movies. As a teenager, watching people on YouTube talk about movies and collect Blu-rays is what inspired me to go to Best Buy and start collecting Blu-rays. From there, it was discovering the Criterion Collection and Letterboxd, and that's really what grew my love for movies. Without the collecting aspect, I would not be into movies like I am now. Unfortunately, places like Target and Best Buy have pretty much completely pulled out of the physical media game, and they don't sell movies anymore. That's something that shatters my being, knowing that people growing up now can't have the same experience that I had when I was growing up. The way that they have to discover movies or TV shows and grow a love for them is just by clicking on a remote. Physical media is harder than ever to find. You can't really find it in most stores. You have to buy it online, and it's way more expensive than it used to be. But through Letterboxd and things like Film Twitter, I have noticed a resurgence in the collecting of physical media. People are tired of being kicked in the nuts by these massive corporations. They don't like being censored. They don't like having the things that they love taken away from them. They don't like being at the whim of $17 a month streaming services that still give you ads. Just recently, I was at the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale that happens every November, and the amount of people there was overwhelming. It was more than I've ever seen, and I've been doing this for 10 years now. I think people are waking up to the importance of owning the things that you enjoy. Movie collecting isn't as niche as it was a couple years ago, and it certainly isn't as popular as it was 10 or 15 years ago. But I think we're coming back to a sort of happy medium where everybody's kind of embracing what it is or what it could be. Movies and collecting movies have always been a very important part of my life, and here on the channel I've always tried to bring my collection into things. Recently, we've launched the Just Smash Stash series on the YouTube channel where I go through my collection and my movies one by one. I'm always trying to do what I can to promote physical media and different physical media distributors and creators. I want to talk about these movies that we love. I want to show them off. I want to share them with people. Of course, once again, collecting is not for everyone. I completely understand that, and also because it's so expensive, it just might not be an affordable hobby. But I think as we've seen with the thrifting community in terms of clothes, I think a similar thing could happen with movies. I think if you make a thing of it to go to the thrifting stores and buy old DVDs or Blu-rays for, $1 to $5 each, that could be a really fun way to interact with things. And of course, yeah, some of this is my bias for my love of it because I enjoy collecting so much. But I do really just think the importance of actually owning the things that we love, preserving the art forms that we love and care about, especially with today, with everything going on politically and in culture, it's just so important. Let me know in the comments how you feel about collecting, how you feel about physical media, what your favorite thing that you own in your collection is. Please don't forget to comment, like the video, subscribe. It helps us out a tremendous amount. I've been Josh from Just Mash. Until next time.